What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and coming at you with another upload. Again, going for a perfume experience as I have been procuring quite a bit of new perfumes and expanding my collection. That's just what I'm into as of the moment, so this is going to be the content I'm uploading to the channel. And today I have an oldie within the fragrance community, but a newbie to me, and that is Nasomatto Black Afgano. Now, I bought this perfume just because there is so much hype around it, and it is one of those perfumes that is very polarizing. People either really like it or they really dislike it. So I sat on it for quite some time and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna pull the trigger and go with it and see what I get out of it. Now, I'll be the first to admit I am not a big fan of the cannabis note nor the smell of the weed, and this one was a bit of a, you know what, I'm just gonna risk it and go for it, just because of how polarizing it is and how much hype there is around it. Now, I have bought this in 2022, and based on some of the research I've done, there seems to be a reformulation. So I will be walking you through my experience with the 2022 version, not the previous versions. As to the best of my knowledge and understanding, the juice may have changed a bit, as well as the color of it and the thickness of it, which I will walk you through briefly. So, Black Afgano by Nasomatto is intended to be a fragrance that captures the bliss of hash. I've never smoked hash, never smelled it, so I don't quite know what that is like. However, I do know what cannabis smells like, just given that where I live it's legal and you can smell it quite a bit where everyone smokes it. So I do have a bit of a reference point there with respect to what that perfume might have smelled like beforehand. Again, not really a big fan of the cannabis note on its own. However, to the best of my knowledge, there's quite a bit of other notes going here within the fragrance. The Nasomatto website does not publish notes, so unfortunately all I could find out was anecdotal reporting on fragrance review websites or other videos. So I'm not going to stick to these just because they are anecdotal, and instead what I will do is I will walk you through my experience with this fragrance and what I think is there in terms of notes being conveyed when I do put it on my skin and the scents I pick up myself. So to start off, so one thing I want to reiterate is that, or re-emphasizes that the pronunciation is Nasomatto, not Nasomatto as I was saying it. So Nasomatto. So if I butcher that again, you know what, it is what it is. I'm trying my best here. So first of all, in terms of packaging, this is what it arrives in, pretty much. So this was wrapped with cellophane plastic, and this is the Black Afgano box that it arrives in, and it's black on black, so if you can't quite see what it says, that's alright. I'll do my best here to show you, but this is what it looks like. And then basically if you slide it out, you're gonna get the bottle presentation, as you can see, which I'll pull out in a sec. So you get the full bottle as well as a travel cap in here, and it's all nestled in the box for its safety. All right, so with respect to the bottle, so again, Nasomatto Black Afgano is presented in your typical crystal bottle, and this is what the bottle looks like. If I can get my camera to focus for you guys. So this is what the bottle looks like, and it is a very nice presentation, and you get Black Afgano on the side here, And then on the other side is Nasomatto, where it says it's a 30 mil and it is an Extrait de Parfum. And you get this gorgeous charcoaled black cap. So I'm just gonna bring it up so you guys can see it. And it's just the detail on this is quite amazing. It is gorgeous in terms of presentation. And next we have the juice color, which to my surprise, it's purple. Just reading the reviews online, the reviews said either it was, let's focus you. The reviews said either it was black or dark red. And so there's definitely probable truth to the rumor that there has been a reformulation, just because based on the 2022 edition, the juice is black. Also, it's fairly fluid. So my understanding that this is an 80% alcohol concentration in terms of volume. And even though it's an Extrait de Parfum, reading some of the old reviews on the older versions of this, it seems that this perfume was a bit thicker. It also lasted longer, and it had good projection and sillage when it comes to performance. Things that I do not find to exist with this one here. So, without further ado, I will tell you what I have experienced with this perfume in terms of a smell. And hopefully you guys find this helpful. And this is for the 2022 purchase. And I'm not too sure actually if it puts here the year of this formulation, but it doesn't. Okay, never mind. So with respect to the smell, what can you expect of that scent? Let's just take a quick whiff. So my experience with this is that it starts off being very elegant, very classy, very chic. Think of a classical men powdery scent that you would wear on a dark suit. This is how this starts off for me. It's very powdery. It has a touch of resin to it. It has a bit of a musky, sort of muggy touch to it, but nothing that's overwhelming or overbearing where it would be a turn off or it would be gross. If anything, it's actually very alluring, very mysterious is one word I've seen quite a bit describe this, which I do agree with. It is very sexy actually. If you're a mature man, I say this is more masculine leaning. However, ladies can put that on too. But if you're more on the mature side as a man, this would work very well. Now, with respect to the hash or cannabis note, I do get some of it on the dry down, so basically in the base note. And again, it's nothing overwhelming. It's more of a, rather than a fresh lit cannabis weed, it's more of the remnants of the smoke. So basically, you know, if you're sitting with friends, they're smoking, it's more of the smell after the fact of the smoking activity. So if you've ever been around people that smoked cannabis legally, I need to emphasize that it is legal where I reside, you will get this after smell. So this is basically the smell of cannabis just lingering in the air or lingering within the fabric. And this is basically the smell I get out of this. Again, never smelled hash, so I cannot comment on that, but it does give remnants of after the fact lingering cannabis, which is neither, from my point of view, is neither bad nor good. It's just that smell. Now, if you enjoy weed-based cannabis notes, I think this is gonna feel very comforting and familiar. If not, I can see why it would be a turnoff. However, it's not overwhelming to the point where it would be just gross or unbearable or unattractive. Everything here seems to be toned down a bit in terms of strength of the scent. So it's nothing that you can't work with or something that you wouldn't find appealing. I do find the scent to be more overall on the irisy side, and I'm not sure if there's iris in this or not, but it reminds me a lot of some of the other iris perfumes I possess, and it's actually very pleasant. Had to go and stop my phone from ringing just because I completely forgot I'm recording and I need to put my phone on silent, but nonetheless, just touching back again on the iris scent that permeates this perfume. It is across the perfume and it is very, very nice, very chic, very elegant, combined with a musky factor in here, as well as the sort of cannabis slash hash note in the base. So overall, it's a very pleasant scent. I wouldn't say it's off-putting, or it is something that requires a lot of courage to wear, at least for the 2022 formulation. Now, in terms of where would you wear this, you know what, I would be a bit wary of putting this at the office, just because there is a bit of that cannabis note in there and you don't want to give the wrong impression, and you never know how sensitive people are to that note. So you don't want to wear this to an office. Otherwise, you can wear it anywhere else, to the gym, on going out in the morning, going out in the evening. I find this would work really well with a black suit, a black shirt, black shoes, and you're going out clubbing at night. This would be a great scent just because of the mix of the iris with that musty, muggy, sort of musky bit in there, as well as the cannabis note. Perfect setting for this. You can just put it really on any occasion, I would say, as long as you're comfortable with being perceived having possibly smoked some cannabis. Just the only thing I would say is that you need to be wary of is that there is a possibility that people smell this on you and think, well, did you smoke some weed? Did you get high before coming here? It is a possibility. It is very, very subtle, but I'm assuming that if I can pick on it, others out there can pick on it too. I did see some reviews, and that's based on older iterations of this, saying that this is so off-putting. It is gross, like you can't wear this in a public place. Not with this one, I'll be honest with you. I think the 2022 version is fine. Maybe the older ones were a bit more intense, more oily. You do get a bit of that resinous vibe here, but not as much as some of my other resinous perfumes. And that's kind of where my experience and sort of comparison is coming from. It's relative to some of the other resinous perfumes I have. So I don't think this is overpowering. I don't think you're gonna have any real issues with it. If you live in a culture like mine where cannabis is legal, everybody smokes it openly, everywhere, it's not criminalized, honestly, I don't think people are gonna think you stand out of place. If you are in a culture where it's not legal, but people still do it anyways, you will get picked on. If you are somewhere where cannabis isn't normal, nobody's gonna recognize the note, to be fair. But just be careful with that depending on your setting. Context does matter. So I'd just say more formal contexts or environments, like a work environment, be careful with this one. Just because, you know, if you're in a very formal work environment, like let's say government or a bank, you definitely do not want to come across as getting high. Hey, unless your boss is cool with it, then by all means. But yeah, I blind bought this and I'm glad I did. I agree with a lot of the reviews online saying that it is a bit on the darker side, earthy side, musky, muggy, oak mossy. There were comments that there's oud in here. I couldn't pick on oud, to be honest, or maybe the kind of oud in here my nose is not trained upon, so I can't quite pick it. But I pick on some sort of musk. I definitely pick on the cannabis slash hash note. I adore this scent. It's really, really nice. I kind of wish I had the opportunity to experience the older iterations that had a darker juice and were possibly more on the oily side and less alcohol volume, but I just don't like buying perfumes secondhand or from secondhand markets, just because you never know if you're getting a real perfume or a fake. I'm not that experienced to tell the difference, so I prefer to always go to the source. In this case, I went to the Nasomatto website and I actually bought this. And yeah, no regrets with this purchase. Highly, highly recommended, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Just one more thing to cover is that I mentioned earlier in terms of projection and sillage. So I would call this, you know, in terms of being what kind of a scent it is, it's somewhere between being a skin scent and a projecting scent. It's somewhere in the middle. And the reason I say that is because even though this is alcohol based, the carrier here is alcohol, it doesn't actually project far enough, nor does it give enough of a sillage for people to sort of smell it well after you've left an area, or for people approaching you from afar to pick on it. I don't think it is a performance beast. I've seen some comment on the older iterations say that's a performance beast. For the 2022, I wouldn't say it is. People can pick on it still from a distance, but I'd say like they still need to be in close proximity to you to be able to smell it. So in terms of projection and sillage, I wouldn't say it's beast mode. It's reasonable. I think even once you spray it on, just because the scent is consistent across from the initial spray to the dry down, you actually kind of stop smelling it a bit. Just your nose gets accustomed to it. That's how linear that scent is. So it takes a bit of effort later on, as you put it, to smell it again. But it's not the kind of scent that even when you put it on your skin is gonna kind of keep wafting towards your face like some of my other perfumes. And that's fine. I don't think this is intended to be that way. I don't think it changes with time on your skin. Granted, again, that my skin tends to eat up perfumes quite a bit. It's just the kind of skin I have, so I do need quite a lot to have the scent be present. But I'd say on average, this isn't exactly a scent that you're gonna sort of whiff it. You're gonna sort of smell it and get whiffs off through the day if you don't put active effort to, let's say, you know, pulling your sleeve and smelling it, or kind of smelling in your shirt or leaning into your shirt to smell it. I don't think that is the kind of scent this is. So just something to be cognizant about. Otherwise, fantastic scent. It is great. I've been enjoying it so far. I've put it on a few times, and yeah, if you have been contemplating getting black Afgano, if you were on the fence about it, by all means go and get it. And frankly, relative to other sort of extrait de parfums from other houses, price-wise, this is actually very reasonable, considering you're getting a niche perfume. And yeah, I mean, nothing but good things to say about black Afgano. Pleasant experience with it. If you're more into the darker, sort of warmer scents, I recommend getting this. And yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments if you have an older version of this, what your experience with it has been. I'm very curious to get some input on this. But otherwise, I think that'll be it for my upload today. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.